uniform for the area we cover. With any good operator, I mean, we will be the safest place in town wherever we go. Like there will be no crime by us. In many cases, the police have come and used our videotape to try to figure out unrelated issues that happened across the street because we have coverage all over, and this spreads to the rest of the community too, to try to help create a safe community. So we do work closely with local law enforcement when we set this up. We do a security assessment when we have a new facility. If it's determined, our facilities in Detroit versus Madison Heights versus Ann Arbor versus here are gonna have different requirements. If there needs to be on-site security, we hire local retired police, ex-military. Our chief security officer is former narcotics police from Philadelphia and Baltimore. He comes and works with everybody and works with the local heads of public safety in the local community. And there's a training, very rigorous training, so that any situation is resolved without resorting to force. We have never had to use force or call the police across any of our stores. In Ann Arbor, there's never been an incident of any kind alone at all. And so with these partnerships, we're able to respond quickly to any problems if they do arise. Regarding our product mix, I spoke a little bit about the categorization. These are some of our packaging. We have some more in the back, and you can see the child-proof nature of the packages. The different colors are the different effect types. We produce about 70% of what's on the shelf ourselves. We are building out a state-of-the-art production in Madison Heights. And a lot of that will then, go to our satellite shops. And I guess this might be a good time to address the vaping issue. That's all in the news. There's these problems have basically been drawn back to illegal black market carts using a specific cutting agent called vitamin E acetone. In our products, we have never used any cutting agent, let alone that particular one. And really, the only way to start ensuring that these problems don't continue happening is to let a regulated market really flourish. If people still get things from the black market, the people making these, they don't care, and most of the times they don't know what they're putting in their products. Everything that we do is transparent, and it gets tested multiple times throughout the production phase. We test things ourselves. We have an online lab to do testing before we send it out to the state for the final test, and it goes out to the stores in the system. Here's a little bit about our facility in Madison Heights. We have, this is it's vertically integrated in and of itself. It has production, processing, and a 5,000 square foot retail space. The retail space also includes some common spaces actually, with an educational component where we can show people kind of how the product moves from seed into the different products you see on the shelf, and also what ailments have historically been dealt with through different types of cannabis and the different types of products. We also have a community event space, which will have events, talks, some music sometimes, and we will also show a lot of local artists there as well. Were we to come to a place like Northfield or anywhere else of sort of the size of a satellite retail store, our commitment to the community always starts with our team. We hire locally. We try to hire locally, and it ends up we always do. We pay a very competitive wage, a good wage. I mean, it's really good, impressive. Everybody gets paid time off. Full-time, anybody who works full-time, no matter the position, no matter the title, gets access to benefits, and it's a great benefits package. So we also, what I think is the most important is we have a dedicated process for promoting from inside the company. This is a growth industry, there's a lot of new stuff opening up, so it makes this, the entry-level jobs can be more than just an entry-level job. They can learn a lot and have an opportunity to move and specialize in different areas across the company. And I think that's a great opportunity for a lot of people as opposed to getting a retail job at the mall or something like that. And I think this is borne out that people like it. In Ann Arbor, we have almost no turnover in our retail. We haven't, we just add people. I don't think we've gotten rid of anybody forever. unless they like went back to school or had some other issue that brought them away. So beyond committing to community through hiring and the payroll that goes back into the community, we also feel that we want to be good neighbors to the other local businesses. There's always a spillover effect. We can create a lot of traffic, car trips to an area that but for us being there, they would not have gone down there. When they go out, they're going to go and do other things in the area. On a national scale, we also spend a lot of money promoting research for opioid harm reduction through cannabis use. We've been working with Johns Hopkins University, and we're about to start a new project with UCLA here in the next month or so. In addition to all of that, we always have some individual projects within the community that we use to support the local community based on kind of local needs and local wants. Here's an example of a few. Some that I have been in recently that I've set up on the east side of Detroit in an inner-ring suburb. I have been going to a lot of their planning and council meetings and seen some recurring issues. So when I went in to meet with the planner, you know, I was talking about some parking issues for our site, but I said, hey, you know, we've been talking about how we're gonna contribute. What if we adopt some of these parks, we increase the lighting, and we help bring people into the facilities, because they just upgraded their parks, but they didn't have enough money for upkeep. So we're adopting the parks, and we're gonna have events for their frisbee golf and for some other sports installations they have put in that really hadn't been being used. And they like that idea. In addition, they had an arts commission they created that there's no money in the general fund to fund, so we're helping them with the first initiative of painting murals in the downtown area. And we're not located in downtown there, but we just think it's nice for the community, gonna bring people down. In addition to a place like Madison Heights, we've kind of become the vanguard for what they're making everybody do there. It's a long-term project, a big project, so we created a committee of local stakeholders, and they meet once a quarter and, you know, decide how best the donations can be used to help the community. This allows us to really get into different parts of the community that may go unnoticed to us. And so, you know, Madison Heights is like this so much, they've now made it mandatory for any other licensee to use the same model that we proposed in our application, and we're in the process of actually formalizing it through a written contract. Unfortunately, in our industry and just development in general, there are sometimes a lot of promises made that aren't followed through with, and, you know, not that we would do that, but we like the idea that, you know, everybody's going to be held to account. And that's basically it for that, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about anything I discussed in more detail or anything else.
We'll do the question and answer at the end.
Thank you.